Luke here for SimBoxx. We're down at the press conference for Scott Quigg versus Jono Carroll. Delighted to be joined by trainer Joe Gallagher. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
So, during the press conference there, we had the announcement, of course, Scott Quigg's come back into the Gallagher Gym. Can you take us through that, how that came about?
Yeah, just had a phone call and said, would you be interested in taking Scott back on again? I said, yeah, listen, when he left doing it over to America, I always said the door was always open, just like it was with Macklin. And yeah, so he's come back. I'd like more notice, but yeah, listen, we've got a job to do on March the 7th, and we're down to business now.
So what is your opinion on the fight, Scott Quigg versus Jono Carroll? What's your thoughts on?
Yeah, I think it's a tough fight. Yeah, I think it's a tough fight. Jono Carroll is young, he's ambitious, he's a good fighter, does things well. He's smart, he's improving all the time, and he's learning, he's taking himself out of the comfort zone, going away sparring, and he's learning, he's investing in himself, and he reminds me an awful lot of Scott Quigg. So two of them in that type of sense are very much cut from the same type of cloth, in the fact that the dedication and the desire are very much the same, so that's what makes an interesting fight.
Definitely. So, Eddie mentioned it as well up on the top table about, is there going to be no secrets in this fight? Both men know what each other's going to bring to the ring in terms of game plan. Is it just going to be, head on in the middle of the ring and see who's the last man standing and such?
Yeah, listen, we'd all like to think that, but I've seen that Jono Carroll and his team around him, and Albert, who's a good coach, they're smart, and Scott Quigg knows himself. He can't just go out there, stand in the ring and start throwing bombs. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more boxing to it than what was said up there today. But like you say, it's a good fight, an entertaining fight, and if they do come out and start swinging and mill around, then the fans at home and TV and the crowd, they're all in for a treat.
Definitely. So, when Quigg approached you about coming back into the gym, and obviously it's been mentioned across social media, which again isn't the greatest source of opinions, but a lot of people ask what does Scott Quigg have left in the tank, and was that anything you took into consideration with Scott coming back into the gym?
No, not at all. I just had a meeting with everyone in the gymnasium about it, because I have to speak to them first, and everyone was on board with it, so that was it. Scott was back in. Now we're training, and like I said, we're evaluating everything, and yeah, we're going through all that process, and we're just getting on with it. We don't have that much long to get ready for a fight now, 7 weeks, so we're just getting on with it, and we're going to we've just got to crack on with training camp now.
So there was another fight that was rumoured to be on this card, Callum Johnson fight for the European title. I think a lot of people was expecting that to go out March 7th. Can you shed any light on if
well,
that is the
as
date?
far as I know, it's due to fight, and it still is to an extent. We have to speak to Eddie, unless he's got to move it much, we'll be down to London. But I need to speak to Eddie because Callum Johnson is in training for this fight on March the 7th for the European. So yeah, I'll have to speak to Eddie now.
So we've been touched back on Sunday's M22 promotions card. It was a great fight between Sam Hyde and Dion Juma first and foremost. A razor close decision loss for Sam Hyde. Can you take us through your thoughts on the fight, and then obviously go on to your thoughts on the card in general?
Yeah, no, listen, I knew it was going to be a close competitive fight. Sam was a huge underdog going into it. You've seen it before, and Dion Juma, class operator, two-time heavyweight ABA champion. And he knew he was going to come from a good background, good training camp, good trainer. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, but the fight was close, and there's 1 or 2 rounds Sam switched off, and if he wouldn't have switched off in them rounds, he's kicking his heels now about it. But sometimes you don't realise, here we are today now, what is it, Thursday? And that's 4 days since the event, and how quick that time's from beforehand. And I keep explaining to Sam, it'll pass you before you know it, and in the moment, in the eye of the storm, you have to grab it, no matter how much you're feeling, how tired you are. And I just think that round or 2 where he switched off, he then came out round 11, had a great round 11, nearly had him out of there, great round 12, but you just can't allow them moments in a fight. And it was a great fight between pair of them. The respect that's been shown between both fighters on social media is good, and as Dion says, I'm sure they'll do it again, and down the line that'd be a great fight for a British title rematch. Sam has proved both times now against Riakpo, now on Dion Juma, 2 fights as underdog, that he nearly beat both of them, but nearly isn't good enough, and he's young, he'll go back, he'll regroup, and he'll come again. I thought the show was a fantastic show. It got 5 stars, which I'm really pleased at, Boxing News. And yeah, I was really pleased with it. It was great for Mark Jeffers to win his first title, Osh winning his professional debut. He had the biggest smile on the night, him and Dion, between the pair of them. Like I say, Marcus Morrison got off to a new year, beat Darryl Sharp more convincingly third time round now, and like I say, Jerome Warburton as well, getting a win 5-0. So as you've seen there, I don't have to. If everyone hasn't seen the show and wants to see it, log on to the M22 Promotions page on YouTube and take an hour out, sit down, and you'll be absolutely delighted with a type of fight that you watch between Sam Hyde and Dion Juma, and for the rest of the card for that matter of fact.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more with that. Is there any plans for future M22 promotion shows? Is there anything lined up?
Yeah, we've got a few that I'm working on at the moment, but I can't say too much. But there'll be definitely a couple more before the summer. So yeah, that's it.
Something else I'd like to touch on. I'm sure this is a horse that's been beaten time and time again. But this morning there was the news of Canelo now looking likely to fight Murata in Japan, Cinco de Mayo. Is that set in stone as far as you know, or is it still?
No, it's not set in stone. It's just that it's a curveball, a huge curveball, and sometimes you don't know whether it's a red herring or not. To be able to negotiate down other fighters and stuff like that. So listen, I got a phone call yesterday about it, notified Callum, and listen, until it's done, and that's it. In the meantime, spoke to Eddie. We're looking at getting Callum Smith out in America in April, and if we don't get the Canelo fight, and that's it. We've just got to crack on. Yeah, but like you say, I understand from the Zone's business sense for it to be out there in Japan for viewers and everything else. I'm not sure about the American market for Canelo. Like I say, Canelo now, he's the Floyd Mayweather. He fights who he wants, when he wants, and that's it. But like I say, I'm sure there'll be other opportunities down the road, and like I say, it's not done yet, so you just never know. You just never know.
Definitely. So just touch on there. You mentioned that you spoke to Eddie about getting Callum out in America in April. Does that knock any opportunity of Billy Joe Saunders being the next opponent for Callum?
No,
if Canelo doesn't happen?
We're already in place because we've already told Billy Joe would think it. So I've said to Eddie today, listen, we'll fight in April, and then Billy Joe, Daniel Jacobs, they're the type of fights we'll do in September.
Definitely fantastic. Well, thanks for your time, Joe, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future.
Yeah, no problem. Cheers, thank you.